Hi, I'm Kristen Arnett, and I'm here with Sasha Plasvic of ILIA Beauty. She's one of the co-founders and the main creator behind the brand, and such an inspiration, which is why she's an icon in the Green Beauty Icons box that I'm doing in partnership with ILIA Beauty. So it's a pleasure to have you here. I know you're really, really busy, and I'm excited to hear a little bit more about you and what's in the box.
Wonderful. Really happy to be here.
So before you were doing ILIA, you were apparently in branding, typography, helping other companies like eyewear and even an apothecary get their branding set, and that strength really comes through in your own brand. I mean, it's so beautiful. The packaging is straight on. It's one of the reasons that I absolutely love what you do. But what made you jump from that world to this world of creating makeup?
That was, it was a bit of a project, but at the time I'd worked with a lot of different brands and founders, and I was actually working with Urban Decay Cosmetics in California, and I was freelancing with them and helping them with a few projects, and it was a time when I started looking at the ingredients on the box, kind of with every product. I was more curious, and it was during the recession several years ago, and I felt like I just needed to change things up. I actually left a relationship. I decided to leave my job, and I moved back to Vancouver, Canada. And I hadn't been home since I was 18. So I was actually seeking something, and I was a little bit lost. And I really believe that if you want to let go of things, you have to let go of quite a bit in order to take a new step forward. So in order to do that, I kind of shut the door and moved home. And then from there, I did a 180 and took a job as a shop girl. And again, was just spending time researching, how I wanted to make products in my life less toxic. And actually, my mom at the time, she was a big influence in my life. She was somebody that was really gung-ho about that as we were growing up. So it kind of made it easy. And from that point, I looked at my Labello tinted chapstick that I'd been using for a decade, and I thought, what if I could make a project where I create a lip balm that has a tint, that's beautifully packaged, and it was really actually to see if I could just make it. And from there, it was a 2-year journey, and there wasn't actually like an end goal. It was actually just more of an exploration at the time.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you feel like you're still exploring?
Definitely. I think I did do an interview the other day, and it was about women who came from strange backgrounds that were not necessarily in the beauty industry, and now are kind of doing new things in that area. And I would say, not knowing anything can sometimes be really helpful, because it makes you more naive, and it probably makes you a little bit more delusional to what the industry is really like. And from there, it's finding the right people to work with, and luckily I was able to find the right chemist who I had an amazing connection with. And we were able to really push things beyond what was possible 8 years ago now, when that type of formulating for clean beauty or natural beauty was not as prevalent, and labs would reject it. I will say still to this day, it's very challenging to find labs. Most of the time I'm working with them, and we're doing it together to get to a certain point. All of our formulas are built from scratch. So in order to build it, you really need to have a clear understanding of what it is to formulate natural or clean or organic. I'd even say the brand is somewhat pivoted in the last couple of years, and in the few years that we have coming up, my standpoint on formulations has really changed as well. We're going to have a new website coming out. We've got a huge product pipeline that we've been working on the last year. And I'd say for the first 5 years of this business, I was exploring and I was playing. And there's still that element there, but it didn't have a lot of, there wasn't necessarily a very good roadmap for that. And now I'd say that we've developed a much stronger roadmap to go after certain categories that we want in makeup. And not only that, but from a formulating standpoint, I try to formulate as natural and as organic as possible. And a lot of our products will range. Some of them will be 100% natural and maybe 10% organic. Some of them will be, 85% natural. There's 15% synthetic base that it would be a safe synthetic. Some of them are up to 86% organic. And we had this huge range. And what I really realized is that some products you can get a very high organic percentage or a more natural-based percentage. Our top-selling product, Arabian Nights, is totally 100% natural and 86% organic, our tinted lip conditioner. But let's say if you want to go into other categories for eyes, unless you start, or even complexion, unless you actually start to look at safe synthetics that can actually help the product wear longer and perform in a way that would be to something conventional in the market that people are used to do it all natural and organic, I find it really challenging. And I think that the product starts to suffer. So ILIA's standpoint is that now we look at each product individually, we build it from the ground up, and we'll start with botanics and natural and organic ingredients. And then from there, we'll see if we can actually take it a little bit further in that realm. And if we can't, we start to look at safe synthetics, in small percentages. And I would really confidently like to tell people that when they see an ingredient, usually for us, because we have to list our ingredients in Europe as well, it's a trace element, and it's not necessarily a high amount. And if they see something that they think, oh, I don't necessarily want to have that in my product, it's not just about the ingredient, it's about the percentages that are used and how it's actually ensuring that that product works better, is safe to use, and is preserved as well.
That's such great information. And, I love that your approach is, it feels like a very well-rounded, almost holistic approach, because you're so connected to I always call it, there's a lot of gray in the green. You have to find that balance between product performance and, safety, of course, and ethics. And then also the fact that you have such beautiful packaging. The fact that your marketing materials, and the advertisements, the models you choose, the makeup, it speaks so beautifully to the attention to detail. And that's one thing that I really love. Yeah.
It doesn't always work out, but we try. It's something that it's like a spinning hurricane sometimes around your head. It's like, we got to do this part, we got to do that part, but thank you. The packaging, that's another area, that we're trying to tighten up, and we have more glass coming as well, just to see, things have to look nice, and packaging in itself, there are brands that are definitely, I think, doing a good job for refills and being more sustainable in that sense. Customers don't always want to buy refills. In certain green beauty stores, they will, but when you get to some larger accounts, they won't. Yeah. So there's some learning, and stats that we have there. And I think it should look good, it should feel good, and really it has to work, and I do think the most exciting thing about clean beauty and color that's happening right now is that there is an openness to not just looking at it as being as highly organic and natural as possible. It's actually about a product that is safe and a product that works, and I believe there's more and more brands that are taking that approach, and it's nice to see because it gives the customer a wider array of products to choose. As far as somebody that, I would say really inspired me, it would probably have to be my dad. He was the one that, he came from Eastern Europe. He lived through World War II. He came to Canada with, nothing, and started his whole life with $5 in his pocket there. So as far as believing in something and pushing through something, that was a really nice role model to grow up with, and teaching you how to survive, and I think at the end of the day, when you're starting a business or anything that you're doing, or you choose to pursue a dream in, it is about surviving through the tough times and pushing through to the other side, and he's like, it doesn't matter what happens, every day you get up and there's a challenge there or a wall and you have to break through it, and the day that you choose not to break through it, that's going to hold you back and it's going to put you back. So he's like, you take it step by step, and you keep, every day you break through the wall. One day there's one wall, next day there's 5 walls. He's like, you just keep breaking through. And that to me is a really good piece of advice, because I think a lot of people will have ideas and then they'll stop themselves because they're scared, of failing, of it not working out, of what people will think of it. And really at the end of the day, it's also a bit of my personality. It's like, you can't care. You have to care about what you want to do there, and you have to, like a laser beam, kind of keep going for it. So yeah, that was definitely somebody.
That's such beautiful advice. Yes.
In my everyday life, my dad's actually no longer here, so my husband's taken over that role, and he doesn't give me that kind of knowledgeable information, but like some days I'll be like, I had a bad day, like most, like any normal person, and he'll be the one, he'll be like, he'll put it in perspective, and it's like, just pick up and move on. So
that's so beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
I really feel like the clean beauty space, it is becoming defined as clean beauty, more than anything right now. And I really would urge people who are looking to, trust in brands and trust in products to do their own research, and to trust in what we're building and bringing to them. Because again, this category is not black and white. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of things that people don't see. And we're going to do our best to really start explaining that in video form and a few other forms over the course of this year. So again, please stay tuned. We'll have lots of new information to kind of help tell who we are, which I hope can connect with everyone.
This is extremely important. Are you a dog lover, a cat lover, or do you go both ways?
Dog only.
Oh, no! Shh. Don't tell my cat.
No. I mean, so I wanted to be a vet when I was a kid. And then there was a period of time, because I grew up in the woods in Canada, like in this little cove. And we had one dog, one cat with 7 kittens, 2 budgies, 2 hamsters, 2 turtles.
Sounds like
there was something else too.
You had a petting zoo.
Pretty much. And it was like on the weekend, it was my job to clean all the tanks, like the turtle tank. It was, I had to like boil hot water. But anyways, the cats, I like dogs now. Dog is good.
Do you have a dog?
My mom has a dog, and our nanny for our little girl has a dog. So it's kind of nice. It's like, comes from 9 to 5, goes home, don't have to think about it.
You have the benefits without the responsibility.
Benefits without responsibility, because people will be like, oh, having a dog's like having a kid. I'm like, no. So, but I have watched other people's dogs, and I would like to have a dog one day, but I think having a kid right now is a little bit, that's a time-consuming matter.
Yeah. Your stance on dogs is my stance on kids.
Okay, well, that's fair. That is fair. Kids are harder than this job. I will point that out. I think like it's funny. People will be like, "How do you like run a business and have children?" And I'm like, going to work is like going on vacation. So there's things that are challenging, and they were definitely more challenging in the early years, where you think, "Oh my God, how am I gonna, oh my goodness, how can we fix this?" But you can, because there's rational thought applied to it. Whereas when you have a kid, there's so much emotion, and you're trying to figure out, how to make something work in a much different way that you don't have as much control over. And sometimes you have to let go of that in order for it to work out.
We'll do another video on parenting advice.
Yeah.
What are 3 words that you would use to describe your personal superpowers? Like, you must have superpowers, the things that have made you successful or fabulous in life.
Superpowers. Well, sometimes your superpowers can work against you, I think, too. 3 words for superpowers. Believe. Believe you can do it, because sometimes you're so super tired as a mom, too, that, you got to believe. You got to get out of bed and believe that you can do the day. I would say another word as a superpower would be inspire. I think inspiring, obviously inspiring our customers, but whoever it is that you're kind of touching in the day, especially like the people around me at work too. It's important to keep inspiration there, because they have it, and if everybody has that, things move forward a lot easier. And then I would say the other one is probably balance, a superpower. I think that's a superpower for everybody. If you can figure out how to balance your life out, I would consider it a very strong superpower, because I think that's the one that we're always trying to figure out. And I'm not very good at it sometimes, but there's moments where I'll just say, hey, I'm done at this time today, and I'm going to go do this yoga class, or I'm going to go do something for myself. Because if I don't have that time, then I can't. If you don't have any time for yourself, then you can't really give a lot of time or energy to other things. And I have to do that. There's no choice on that latter part there. So yeah, balance.
All right, those are wonderful responses.
Thank you.
Last question. Is there something kind of odd about you, a food you like that's bizarre that would shock people, surprise people, or do you love like escargot? I don't know.
I will eat escargot, definitely. I love, if I'm like, and that's the thing, I'm not a vegetarian, but I do really like to know where food comes from these days, fish too. So I am a little bit nerdy when it comes to that stuff, but if I'm in France, I will order escargot, and man, it's so good with the butter and everything. Probably sounds so disgusting, but if you eat it with like white bread and you're in Europe and you have a nice glass of wine, it's like to die for.
Well, I'm all for the being in Europe with the glass of wine and the bread. The escargot I haven't gotten into yet. That'll be our teaser. Sasha eats snails and likes it.
Yeah. It may sometimes look like, I have it all together if people read certain things or watch certain things, but just like any other human being, we all have our moments, and yeah, I think we're all just doing our best, Everybody just does their best, and we can move mountains.
Yes, I love it. And I love that you're moving yours in the clean, green beauty space. Well, have a fantastic day. Good luck with the balancing, the juggling, all that.
Totally living it. So.
And you're making the world a more beautiful place by doing it. So thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks for thinking of me for this. It was really nice to talk to you guys.
You're an icon for a reason. So we'll see you around the corner soon.